Hi everyone, this is Snit, and in this video I'm continuing with becoming more aware of your emotions, their weight, and the effect of that on your physical body. Now, in the previous video, I asked everyone to have a look into noting down uh, when you go into the more fleeting, subtle moments of reactions where you don't necessarily feel or experience the impact of them as severely or intensely in your physical body, but there's a part of you that knows, okay, I went into an emotion inside myself. Yes, it might have been just a light whiff of energy inside the solar plexus, but in the nature of your thoughts or just the general experience yourself, you just knew that you went into a reaction. All right, so here let's more have a look into the science of the emotional energy and physical body relationship and who you are within it all. Now, in that moment, let me take my example and slow it down, where in that moment where I misinterpreted another person's behavior, it's not so much a thought that came up inside of me as much as I just immediately tensed up inside myself, and I could feel there was this movement of energy kind of breathing through myself, my body. It didn't so much feel like it was rooted in a particular area or place or space in my body. It just felt a light breeze of energy inside myself. It didn't even feel like so much as though it was the energy was close to or connecting to or really penetrating into my body, where it feels like my stomach was going into knots or my chest was tightening or my back was kind of also going into a form of stress. As I know my back, I also use as a cross reference, the center of my back. I use as a cross reference for when I react or go into emotional states, because that sometimes tenses up inside of me. It was really just a moment. It was very quick, as I explained in the previous video as well. And I just moved a certain way. I could feel this breeze of energy going through me. Then I got distracted and busy with something else. But that fleeting, subtle moment, even though it was so quick, the remnants of that reaction was still kind of in my subconscious, and that's why I was like, okay, I have to actually stop this distraction for a moment, breathe, and look at what just happened there. Um, it was really one of those surprising moments where you kind of like, wait, what? What just happened? Where was I? So in looking at those moments, everyone, those subtle fleeting moments, that's where the energy is kind of still like the wind. Um, and sometimes when there's stormy winds on the way, the clouds start rolling in, and soon enough you've got rain and thunderstorms on top of you. Well, this is how the weather oftentimes is in South Africa. It starts with a light breeze, and then the wind becomes stronger, and the clouds come blowing in, and then we've got a wonderful storm in the late afternoons, evenings after a really hot day. So that kind of also reminds me of how energy works. It starts with a breeze. It starts with us slowly over time, in subtle fleeting moments, participating in the energy. And you don't so much feel it in the body. As I said, it's not rooted, where if I go into a common one, anxiety, that immediately creates this real nauseating, prickly, stingy knot in my solar plexus. It's really just more wispy inside myself, and I think that also is what causes us to not really pay so much attention to it, the subtle fleeting moments of reaction. I mean, if that insecurity or fear was quite intense, it would have been more difficult for me to be distracted by something else and not pay attention to, what reaction was I allowing inside myself. So this is also why I very early on in my clients' development of awareness of their minds, themselves, and their bodies, assist and support them to pay attention to these wispy, fleeting, subtle, quick moments of reaction. Because if you don't catch them, so to speak, fast enough in your days or weeks, it's these energies that over time start becoming stormy winds, where now, again, with that insecurity example of mine, that if I allowed that one moment and then continued allowing those subtle, fleeting moments, over time, I would have become more and more and more insecure. It would become more intense. And then it would slowly but surely start manifesting in my solar plexus, my general experience, my body. And but then, it's already kind of too late, because we become so drawn into the experience of our emotions. I would have been then more drawn in by my fear and insecurity than paying attention to what the emotion is doing to my body. I'm sure many can relate to that as well. When you're sometimes in emotions, or fear, insecurity, anxiety, stress, panic, in your everyday life emotions, you very seldom pay attention to what's really going on in your body, because you're so overwhelmed with your emotions. And that's kind of where the storms are actually already rolling in, the clouds are coming. The energy is becoming more physical in its impact and consequence on the body. But again, we're more kind of thrown around in our own minds and our own energies up in the clouds, as we are more immersed into what we're experiencing and feeling than what it's really doing to our body and ourselves, and potentially a relationship as well. But fortunately, it was very interesting to share with the individual what had happened, what I'd noticed, and what I'd realized about that moment of insecurity and fear. And they did end up having an interesting, like a silly laugh. What? Insecure or silly about? Being silly. No, but the point being here, everyone, is that the energy always starts so light, as it kind of breathes itself into ourselves and our bodies. And then the more we give of our energy, our mental energy and our physical energy, by participating in these energies, these emotions, we literally start adding more weight to it. And it literally has that experience of weighing you down inside yourself. I have had an interesting experience as well recently. I was just thinking there about an example I could use, where I had gone walking, and in that walk, just really concentrated, not thinking about anything, just being here in the moment, focusing on my breathing, my body, my surroundings, just really stepping out of my own mind, so to speak. And it was extraordinary, the how even my eyes, in this area here, started changing from feeling like there was a weight, there was a slight pain on top of my eyes that I didn't really notice was there until it was gone. And I just felt like my eyes were opening up more. My body actually felt relaxed. And obviously another wake-up call, where I had to go, girl, where have you been? What have you been feeding your mental and physical energy to, and adding weight that is weighing you down? So I just transformed a problem then into a solution. Instead of the problem weighing me down, I transformed it into a solution, and it lifted me up, and it also lifted me, my energy, myself, my experience of my body. So it was amazing just to find that difference of just the feel of myself being way down. And, we become so conditioned to being and living in a certain way, we do not realize the weight that we are putting on ourselves within and without. All right, everyone. So here with also some sharing with regards to how and why it is that energy can start so fleeting and subtle, but over time it starts becoming more and more intense, so and consequential within yourself and your body. All right, everyone, do stay tuned. In the next video, I will introduce you to some things that you can look forward to in newsletters and courses to come, where I'll start walking more specific emotions and their weight signature, their vibration signature, their symbolism, and where exactly those emotional energies start, let's say, gathering and then accumulating in your body, essentially having a look at why and how it is that specific emotions target more specific areas and different areas within your physical body. Right, everyone, so some interesting things to come. Thank you very much for walking with, for listening, and being here.